Welcome to 217 Colic YT. As Igris hits the wall, he tries to recover, but before he could even move a muscle, Suho appears and punches him so hard that the wall behind Igris shatters into pieces. But Suho doesn't stop there. He starts delivering a flurry of attacks on him, not giving him any time to recover. And both of them come out of another part of the dungeon. As they land on the ground, Igris was still standing on his 2 feet. Seeing this, Suho delivers a devastating attack on him that creates shockwaves all around the room. Igris notices cracks forming on his body. Seeing this, he gets impressed with Suho's potential. Looking at him, Igris thinks that Suho is a natural talent born of his liege, who had become one with the previous Shadow Monarch. He is amazed to see how Suho was able to bring out this much power even when in a state where he doesn't know how to properly use such power. As he was in his thoughts, he saw Suho coming towards him to deliver the finishing blow. Seeing this, he accepts his defeat, and as Suho delivers the attack, Igris shatters into pieces and disappears into the air. After which, the whole place falls silent as Suho stands there completely exhausted after such an intense fight. With that, he shouts, declaring his victory, as he sees notifications telling him that he has leveled up. Seeing this, he starts to dance to celebrate his victory. As he was doing that, another portal started to appear behind him. Sensing it, he turns towards it to see what was going on and wonders if this was an exit from this place. Thinking that, he passes through it to see where it would lead him, and as he comes out of the other side, he thinks that this looks like the D Tower in Songpa District and wonders why it was engulfed in flames. As he was looking at the massive building, he notices something and turns to see what it was. He sees Cerberus, the guardian of the demon realm, standing next to him, but Suho wasn't afraid of the thing, and both of them start to stare at each other. But as Cerberus looked closer, he saw Jinwoo's image in Suho and froze in fear. Suho, thinking that this was just a ferocious-looking sculpture, starts to walk away while Cerberus stands there sweating, hoping not to get attacked. After which, Suho approaches the door leading inside the demon realm and wonders where it would lead him. But thinking that if he didn't open it, nothing would happen, he decides to walk in and finds himself in an empty corridor. As he passes through it, he sees a city engulfed in flames and overrun by demons that were coming straight towards him. Standing in front of the massive creatures, Suho prepares to fight, and after a while, we see him standing all alone, surrounded by the pile of bodies of his defeated enemies. But instead of being happy, he seemed confused about something. Eventually, he arrives at the 10th floor and easily takes out all the creatures inhabiting that floor. Same with the 20th floor, where the creatures were no match for his strength, and the 30th floor. By that time, Suho was getting tired of all these weak monsters. Eventually, he arrived at the 50th floor, where after taking out Vulcan, the boss monster of that floor, Suho was thinking that every single one of those monsters was so weak, including the boss, who died in a few hits. After that, he arrives at the 75th floor, where he was seen fighting with Midas while thinking if he leveled up too much just to fight with that Black Knight. But ignoring that, he kept on climbing the tower, thinking that the map was large, but if he diligently ran around, then he should be able to clear 1 floor per hour. As he was doing that, all the creatures in his path started to wonder who he was and how he was able to climb this quickly without any soldiers. Eventually, Suho arrived at the 100th floor but didn't have his hopes up for a challenging fight since he didn't face any monsters in his path that were strong enough for him. But as he looked up, he saw something completely unexpected. Standing in front of him was a female demon along with her knights, and for some reason, she had a smile on her face. But ignoring all that, Suho leaps towards her, thinking that his time was precious, so he'll end this quickly. But to his shock, the female demon spoke in human language and told Suho to wait. With a shaky voice, she tells Suho that even the monarch had his fair share of troubles climbing all the way here. But who would have thought the young monarch would climb this easily in a few attempts without any soldiers? She informs him that last time he was here, he wasn't even able to make it this far. Suho asks what she was talking about, and Essel simply tells him not to think too much about it. After which, she formally introduced herself as the eldest daughter of the number 1 demon clan, known as Radairu. Seeing this, Suho was disappointed and asks her if this was all there is to this place. He hears Essel saying that he was right. This was the end, and she informs him that originally, There used to be a stage called the Demon King, but that was done away with after their clan became ranked 1. She tells him that they have to congratulate him for making it to the end of the tower for the first time and informs him that the clan head has prepared a grand celebration for him. But Suho had noticed something else and asks Essel if what she said was true, that this was the end. Then what is that? Essel sees another gate and informs Suho that this was a gate that would take him to another dimension. Hearing that, Suho prepares to leave, but Essel tries to stop him for the banquet and hears him saying that he doesn't know what demons eat, but he's not old enough to drink yet, so they can do the banquet in a few years when he's old enough. Hearing him say that, Essel had no other choice but to agree with him. But all of a sudden, she froze as she remembered something. She thinks that Suho said the same thing, that they would meet again, but he never came back. Remembering his words, she thinks that it's been 60 years since the demon castle was left neglected, and they were only called on once when they needed help making the sculptures. She realizes that she can't send him off like this. But before she could say anything, she hears Suho butchering both her and her clan's name and telling her that she told him her name was Isel of the Red Eyes clan. He tells her that he will remember that. Hearing his words, she remembers how his father used to mispronounce names as well and starts to smile. After which, she says her farewell to Suho and wishes him good luck. As Suho was passing through the gate, he started to wonder if this was the real exit or could it be a trap. Or maybe the tower wasn't the end of this game. As he comes out to the other side, he sees countless glowing eyes in front of him, and as he gets closer, he finds himself inside a cave filled with countless insect monsters. Realizing that the game was not over yet, Suho was shocked and felt annoyed that he had to fight his way through all these insect monsters. The story fast forwards, and we see many dead insects lying on the floor. Not far from there was Suho, who was trying to run away from the monsters while thinking, what kind of ants are this crazy? Looking back, Suho notices that the creatures were slowly closing the distance. Seeing this, he starts to take them out while thinking that there is no end to them. As he was punching his way through all of them, he sees notifications informing him that he has leveled up. Seeing this, Suho thinks that at least, thanks to these things, he can level up steadily. After smashing most of the ant monsters, Suho thinks that he was now used to these monsters, and looking at the boss room, he decides to enter to see what was in there. As he enters, he finds the place too quiet, and looking at the size of the place, he started to wonder just how big the master of this place was that it had to be this large, and didn't notice Baru, who was slowly walking towards him. As Baru got closer, Suho started to wonder if this was the only monster in this chamber, and looking at his face, he wonders why this creature was crying. As he was still thinking, Baru leaps towards him to attack, and both of them started to deliver a barrage of attacks at each other. Seeing an opening, Baru strikes, but Suho manages to get out of the way and counters with a kick, managing to land it on Baru's stomach. After this, he notices something strange as he sees Baru trying to tell him to stop, but ignoring it, Suho delivers a powerful punch under his chin. But that wasn't enough to take out the being who once single-handedly took out 8 of the 16 S-rank hunters that stood in his path. He leaps back towards Suho, and seeing Suho struggling, he hesitates, giving Suho an opportunity to strike back, but he was confused, wondering why this creature was hesitating. Baru leaps back and, using his ability, heals all his injuries. After recovering, he leaps back towards Suho, but this time he was planning to give it his all. As he swings his claws towards him, Suho manages to evade by ducking under, but the shockwaves created by the attack destroy the ground behind him. Once again, Suho notices tears in his eyes and sees him telling him to stop, but he decides to ignore him once more and delivers another powerful punch to his face. By that time, Baru was pissed, and seeing his expressions, Suho wonders what was wrong with this guy. All of a sudden, Baru starts to lose control as Suho had triggered his instinctive response to attack with the intent to kill, but somehow he manages to control himself and thinks that he got careless. Out of nowhere, he falls to the floor, shocking Suho as he sees a notification informing him that he has leveled up after defeating an enemy. He started to think that he got extremely lucky, as this winged ant was really scary but was acting weird for some reason, as it left itself wide open and wasn't even attacking him properly, pausing between moves. But he decides not to think too much about it since, thanks to all that, he was barely able to beat it. As he was thinking, he notices another gate appearing behind him. Looking at his level, he thinks that it doesn't seem like his level goes up anymore, so he should be able to head back home for real this time. But as he comes out of the other side, he finds himself standing in front of humongous creatures along with dragons. He was getting tired of everything at this point, and seeing no other way, he leaps towards all the monsters while thinking that it's one damn thing after another. As he punches his way through all of them, he notices that his level wasn't increasing even after taking out so many enemies. He sees one lizard-looking creature that seemed stronger compared to the remaining monsters attacking him. As the creature strikes, Suho manages to get out of the way and leaps towards the creature's face, delivering a devastating punch under its chin. Thinking that he was distracted, another giant-type creature rushes towards Suho. As it swings its sword towards him, he manages to block it, and the massive blade shatters as it collides with Suho's gauntlets. Seeing an opening, Suho starts to run toward the creature's face as it prepares another attack. But before it could do anything, Suho delivers a powerful knee under its chin and manages to take it out. After this, he lands on the floor, still ready for action. As he looks in front of him, he sees two orcs riding on top of bears coming straight towards him. Wasting no time, he leaps towards them both and manages to break the hand and sword of one of the orcs, after which he starts to target all the remaining enemies charging towards him and easily takes out all of them. Seeing this, the remaining orcs start to flee, and Suho chases after them, but little did Suho know it was just a trap. As he was distracted by those enemies, more orcs started to target him from the skies. But Suho notices them in time and manages to get out of the way before they could land an attack on him. But that wasn't the end of them, as he saw another orc riding a dragon coming straight towards him. Before the thing could bite down on him, he manages to slide out of the way. But as he looks up, he gets terrified as he sees an army of dragons and orcs coming straight towards him. Seeing this, Suho gets annoyed. Seeing a high orc coming towards him, he asks if they want to take this to the skies. Just as the thing was about to slice Suho down, a hand appears in front of his face, and he gets yeeted off the wyvern like he was nothing. After this, Suho punches his way through the remaining enemies targeting him from the skies while riding the wyvern. As he was doing that, he notices a light coming from somewhere, and as he turns towards the source, he sees an army of massive stone creatures descending from the sky. On top of one of the creatures was a shadow soldier who was saying that it had been 30 years since he joined the Corps from the Land of Repose. Seeing how he was allowed to participate in this game, where only those of martial rank were able to participate, indicated that he had earned his liege's favor as an outstanding warrior. He asks if Suho thinks he will be able to handle him at full power. Suho was tired of hearing him yapping, and before he could finish his sentence, Suho punches all his arrogance out of him, after which he breaks all the remaining stone monsters into pieces like they were nothing. As he was doing that, something unexpected happens. He feels his body getting heavy, and all of a sudden, he, along with all the stone monsters, gets pushed back to the ground. As it was happening, Suho started to wonder what this pressure he was feeling was, as it felt like he was being crushed by an enormous power. Looking up, he sees Tusk and wonders if that was the creature responsible for this. Upon looking closer, he started to wonder if this thing was the boss of this place, as both the Black Knight and the ant were in the same shadow form like this one. All of a sudden, the attack stops, and Suho starts to think that as long as he can kill that one, he will be able to exit this place. But he notices something unexpected as he sees 3 more dragons surrounding Tusk, also in the shadow form. Looking at the 3 of them, Suho started to wonder if he was wrong about thinking that the first creature was the boss. As he was still thinking, the dragons attacked, and the whole area around Suho got engulfed in flames as the creatures kept on breathing fire at him. A flash of light appears from the flames and takes out one of the dragons. After that, it moves towards the second dragon and hits it in its chest, then towards the third one. As it finishes all 3 of the dragons, it lands on the ground, revealing Suho, who had managed to push back those overgrown lizards with ease. Without wasting any time, he leaps back at them to finish the fight, but before he could reach them, he feels the same attack hit his body. With that, he gets launched back to the ground and gets buried into it. However, not giving up, he leaps back towards the remaining monsters and starts taking them out. Managing to get his hands on another wyvern, he rides on it and notices someone in the distance. He thinks that this person looks the most annoying to face and decides to take care of him first. But before he could do that, he notices something. As he turns, he sees Tusk charging up a powerful attack. Eventually, all the fire surrounding him gathers into a massive ball. As soon as that happens, Tusk points his staff towards Suho, and the fireball goes flying past him towards a mountain. As soon as it connects, the top of the mountain gets disintegrated, followed by a massive explosion that destroys everything in its vicinity. Seeing the power behind that attack, Suho's jaw drops as he freezes in fear. Meanwhile, Tusk, looking at everything, thinks that it was just as he thought. The explosion was way cooler since he got a staff. As he turns towards Suho, he sees his body growing pale with fear after witnessing how powerful his attack was. The story fast forwards, and we see Suho taking out the remaining monsters in his path. After he is done with them, he turns his attention towards the shadow soldiers standing in his way. Somehow, the shadow soldier he took out earlier had survived and was standing with Jima and the dragons. Looking at Suho, he starts boasting about his strength once more, asking if Suho really thought he could defeat him with an attack like that. And just like before, Suho kicks all his arrogance out of him. As he was doing that, another soldier charges toward him, shouting that he had climbed this far by working hard after joining the army of his liege. Even if no one remembers him, he will leave a deep impression and demonstrate his loyalty to his master. He unleashes a powerful attack on Suho, who was still in the air. However, before the attack could reach him, Suho uses his super speed to take him out. Turning towards the remaining soldiers, he thinks that these guys keep coming back no matter how many times he takes them out. With his current stamina, he won't be able to handle them for much longer. Seeing no other way, he clenches his fists and thinks that he just has to hold out a bit more and control his powers with more sophistication until he is able to fight against an army. With that, multiple flaming fists appear around Suho. He prepares to take out all of them with this new power and unleashes a barrage of attacks on the shadow soldiers, managing to drive them back. Eventually, all of them start to disappear into thin air while Tusk witnesses his power in amazement. Thinking quickly, he activates his ability and creates a shield in front of him before Suho's fists can reach his body. But little did he know, all of that was just a distraction. He senses Suho coming towards him from behind, shouting that this was going to be really boring if it all ends like this. Suho tells Tusk that if he doesn't have anything else to show him, he should just disappear. With that, he delivers a devastating attack on Tusk, sending him plummeting towards the ground. Finally, he disappears like all the remaining soldiers. The battlefield falls silent, and on the ground stands Suho alone, surrounded by his defeated foes, with a massive amount of mana emanating from his body. Seeing that he succeeded in taking out all the enemies, Suho starts to think that although his stats didn't increase, he became able to control his powers with far more skill through many battles. Just as he believes it's finally over, he senses a presence hovering over him. Looking up, he sees a powerful shadow soldier descending from the sky. Suho thinks that this one is strong, perhaps even stronger than the ant he fought a while ago. He calls out to the creature, asking if it has the ability to speak, as he wants to ask something before they fight. He asks what percentage of his total forces he has fought against until now. He hears the soldier say, excluding the demon castle, about 1% of the total forces were mobilized here. Suho is surprised, thinking that he fought against so many monsters, yet it was only 1%. Ignoring that, he prepares to face Bellion and tells him he is ready to fight. Hearing that, Bellion prepares to draw his weapon while telling Suho that he has grown magnificently and calling him the young monarch. All of a sudden, Bellion stops in his tracks. Suho sees his body start to disappear, and in the blink of an eye, Bellion appears in front of him. Sensing an attack coming, Suho moves out of the way and saves himself. He prepares to counterattack, asking why they keep calling him the young monarch. Landing an attack on Bellion, he asks if it's related to how he was dragged into this world and why they call him young monarch instead of just monarch. In his anger, he gets careless, and Bellion manages to sneak behind him, landing an attack on Suho's side. His body gets engulfed in pain, and he grits his teeth, trying to push through it. But little did he know, that wasn't the end of it. All of a sudden, Bellion's sword turns into a whip, surrounding Suho from all sides. Not giving up, He continues to fight back, looking for an opening. When an opening appears, he manages to grab hold of the weapon. Seeing his success, he thinks that even if the weapon is versatile, it's over once he grabs it. Leaping towards Bellion, who is surprised at how Suho managed to stop his weapon, Suho lands a powerful blow on him. The force behind which was so strong that chunks of rock behind Bellion fly into the distance. But Bellion was still standing. Suho delivers another kick to his stomach, smirking and telling Bellion that if he guards with both arms, his stomach is left wide open. He leaps toward him to deliver another powerful attack, shocking Bellion, who wasn't ready to fight back. As the attack connects, Bellion gets launched into the air, and the place where he was standing gets obliterated. Seeing that Bellion is in no shape to continue the fight, Suho tells him he never thought he would be defeated so easily, and says that if they keep fighting, they'll be up all night. After which, Suho asks if Bellion isn't the master of this place. Hearing no answer, he realizes that this was just another soldier. He turns towards the sky, thinking that if that's the case, the real boss must be someone else. He sees a wyvern flying in the sky. Upon looking closer, he notices that someone is riding on top of it. Seeing that Suho has figured it out, the individual disappears and reappears in front of him. Wasting no time, he charges toward the ground with lightning-fast speed. As he lands, everything underneath his feet crumbles into dust. With that epic entrance, both of them face off, and Suho realizes that this one is the real deal, and both of them prepare to fight. And the entity engulfed in dark energy summons two daggers in his hands. Looking at both of them, Suho gets surprised, as at the start of the dungeon, he ignored the daggers and picked the gauntlets, as he believed that those wouldn't be strong enough to fight against these monsters. But ignoring that, he thinks that this was his first time seeing a humanoid enemy in this place and wonders if he can solve all this mess by just talking. So he calls out to him, but hears no answer from the individual. As he was still trying to piece everything together, he sees something unexpected. He saw a gate that had appeared behind the enemy. Seeing it, Suho wonders what was going on, as he hasn't defeated the boss yet. But still, a gate had appeared. He realizes that this could mean that this was the final hurdle he has to face and gets ready to fight. Thinking after he defeats this final enemy, he can go back home. With that, both of them leap toward each other and collide with ground-shaking force. The impact sends chunks of rocks hurtling through the air. But the enemy was far stronger compared to anything Suho had faced yet, and he easily pushes him back. Suho gets terrified of the person's strength, but not giving up, he strikes back, and both of them start to deliver a flurry of attacks at each other. As they were exchanging blows, Suho thinks that he was fast and far stronger compared to him. As he was getting overpowered, he shows amazement, thinking that not only does he have sheer strength, but each of his attacks is refined. Every attack that he lands has a technique behind it. As he lies there, tanking all the incoming attacks, he wonders just how hard one has to work and how many deaths to overcome in order to acquire this kind of skill. He manages to leap back to create distance between both of them. But not giving up, he thinks that he refuses to lose like this and leaps back at the individual, thinking that his stats have reached their limits and his combat ability has developed far enough to handle those stats. So even if that man may be overwhelming his stats with his strength, he can still see a glimmer of victory. But as he strikes the man, he instantly appears behind him, and Suho feels countless cuts on his body. As he turns towards his hand, he gets shocked to see his gauntlet shattered into pieces. Seeing this, he starts to think that he's admirable. Even if he may be an enemy, he leaps back, thinking if he could become as strong as him. But as his attack was about to connect, the man moves out of the way. Suho realizes that he gave him the opening he needed to strike back. But instead, the person pats Suho on his head and, with a calm voice, asks if he enjoyed the game. Suho gets surprised hearing him say that and turns towards him, thinking that his voice sounds familiar. As he looks at his face, he realizes that the man standing in front of him was his father. Before he could say anything to him, his father pushes him towards the gate, telling him it was still too early for him. Suho looks back, trying to stop himself, but it was already too late, and in the next second, he wakes up in his class gasping for air. He sits there for a bit, trying to process everything. He stands, and after realizing what happened, he started to blush, thinking that that was some weird dream and wonders if he had been playing too many games, thinking that he dreamed about a dungeon filled with monsters, and the final boss that he met was his father. As he was doing that, he hears a voice asking why he was still in class at this hour. Looking at the person, he sees that it was his classmate, who was telling him that she was going to lock the classroom door now. Trying not to make things weird, Suho asks if she needs help with that. After which, he starts to lock the doors and windows of the school, completely unaware that the shadows he fought in that dungeon were watching him from atop the school building. As Suho was doing that, Igris asks if it wouldn't be alright to return the young monarch's powers now, and reminds him that they have tested him a few times before. But this was the first time that he was able to reach him on the final floor, and says that, according to him, he has sufficiently passed. Hearing everything, Suho asks them if they think that they would have won against the Dragon King if he blindly trusted only his powers and attempted to fight against him from the start. He informs them that no matter how powerful one may be, one should consider escaping when facing a situation where the victor wasn't a certainty, as rashly challenging a powerful enemy without a thought is just reckless bravado. After which, Jinwoo starts to think it's too early for him, but he'll learn someday how to take the situation into account when using his powers. As he was thinking that, he notices Baru looking at something with tears in his eyes, and all of a sudden, he starts crying, while thinking about Suho and that he has no memories of him from his childhood. Seeing him acting this way, Jinwoo starts smiling and tells all of them that he has some important matters to attend to and suggests that they go out for dinner as a family later today when he is done. The story shifts to another place, and we see civilians walking around as a news reporter informs everyone that the Kanmin brothers, who caused an uproar in the country, named Hwang Dong-suk and Hwang Dong-soo, were arrested earlier today. After which, the scene shifts, and the same news reporter informs the civilians that there's been a large mountain fire and a risk of fire spreading to the nearby residential area. But the fire station has succeeded in subduing the fire by mobilizing 52 fire trucks and 800 firemen. Among those firemen, we see Baek Yunho, who looked tired after dealing with the forest fire. All of a sudden, another person appears and places a cold water bottle on his face, surprising him. He turns to the person and thanks him for bringing him water, and we see it was Hunter Sung. Looking at him, Beck starts thinking that he's amazing, as he still has energy left after all that work, and hopes that he can be like him someday. As he was thinking that, he notices something and tells Mr. Sung that there's something flying in the sky, to which he tells Beck that it was probably an airplane. The scene shifts to another place, and we see two individuals walking while one of them asks where they last ended things. The chubby guy informs him that they were discussing coming up with a new title for the virtual reality video game their company is planning to publish. Hearing no answer, the chubby guy asks if he was even listening to him. Without answering him, the man opens up the door to the room, announcing that his wife was pregnant, and we see it was Jinho, who is telling everyone that they are already at 6 weeks. Hearing that, everyone present in the room congratulates him on this good news. As he gets to his desk, he tells everyone that they should name their new game Beautiful World. Hearing him say that, everyone was surprised, to which Jinho informs them that their game will actualize a virtual reality that is close to perfection and asks if that name doesn't fit perfectly for it, to which everyone else tells him to reconsider, as the fate of their company hangs on this game. Seeing all of them acting like this, Jinho starts wondering if his naming sense was that bad and wonders if he should ask Jinwoo for the baby's name as well, but remembers that he wasn't very good with naming things either. So, ignoring that for now, he tells all of them not to worry too much about that, as they got a big sponsor this time, and informs them that it's a big name in this industry, Choi Jong-in, who has decided to invest in them. After which, we see an article written on Jinho stating that the chairman of a Jin Soft rejected the inheritance of a chaebol, and the one reading it asks if there are any more articles like this, to which the man informs him that there aren't any yet, but there will be more written in the future. Hearing that, the person comments that he rejected the position they created for him and instead started a gaming company of all things. This man was Jinho's father, who comments that he wants to see his grandchild soon, after which the scene shifts to the outside of the building and starts to zoom into the sky. As it goes past the clouds, we are shown the sky that was slowly starting to crack, after which the scene shifts to outer space, where we see a gigantic gate appearing over the earth. The story shifts to the previous timeline, and we are told about the appearance of gates all around the world that were connected to dungeons, where resided countless powerful monsters that made the people fear of them breaking, which would unleash the monsters living inside those dungeons into their world. But there were those who jumped into the gates in opposition to said fears. These individuals were called hunters. With that, the story shifts to the Hunters Association Support Department, and we see a man answering a call. Out of nowhere, he gets startled when he hears the person on the other side shouting at him, reminding him that he already told him a number of times not to send in Mr. Jinwoo to his team, yet he still doesn't listen. The man tries to calm the individual by apologizing and telling him that there must have been some mistake while drafting up a raid team, to which the man answers by saying he doesn't want to clean up a corpse from their team and asks how they were supposed to deal with the aftermath if they keep placing someone who gets instantly knocked out just because he's a supposed hunter. He warns him that if they make the same mistake one more time, he'll quit being a hunter. After the call ends, the man starts thinking that in the world they are living in, if someone asks a question to any student, what kind of job would they like to have in the future? They'll get one of three answers: either famous hunter, a staff member of a major guild, or an employee of the Hunters Association. But ignoring all that, he decides to focus on his work and sees many chores in front of him. Looking at the list, he remembers all the hunters who have requested them to solve their daily problems. As he was checking the list, he remembers Jinwoo and starts to check his file. Looking at what was written in it, he was surprised, seeing how weak he was, and thinks that he was no different from a regular person. It's a miracle he's still alive at this point. After reading about him for a bit, he wonders why he wants to keep up with becoming a hunter, wondering if he has any special reason. He sees that his mother was in the ICU because of the eternal sleep disorder, and his younger sibling was still in high school. Reading it, he realizes that he has no choice but to live that kind of hectic life. After which, he is seen talking to the chief, asking if he doesn't think they should make a serious attempt at stopping Hunter Jinwoo from entering these dungeons. And here's the man saying that they have already tried that. He asks why he joined the Hunters Association. The man gets surprised by that sudden question and tells him that it was because of the news he saw as a kid about a hunter who ended up being trapped inside a gate while trying to save his comrades from getting stuck inside. He explains that, at first, he was curious about the people who saved others while getting that injured and used to wonder who would save them. Those who are risking their lives so all of them could be safe. Hearing everything, the chief asks him, if that's the case, then does he want Hunter Jinwoo to quit, or does he want to help him? Hearing that, the man realizes that he was right and tells him that all he can do for Jinwoo is advise him to quit. But he hears the chief saying that there is another way. He hands him some documents, saying that there are people who awakened as a high rank but chose not to be a hunter because they weren't interested in the money. He tells him, how about he helps the hunters affiliated with the association by persuading these people? Looking at the papers, he sees Hunter Jae, who awakened as a B-rank healer. As he was reading about her, the chief tells him that she is a person who has the ability to become a hunter but didn't because of her fears. On the other hand, Jinwoo had overcome his fears and entered the gate despite his weakness. So, if fear can be changed into courage due to someone's influence, then that courage will become the strength of the weak. He asks if he will try to help Jinwoo, and he hears the man saying that he will do his best. The story shifts back to the present, and we see Suho walking home with his classmate. On their way, they play a quick game of rock, paper, scissors, in which Suho loses and has to carry the classmate's bag as punishment. As he takes it from her, he notices something strange and turns toward the sky. Seeing him doing that, the girl asks if everything is all right, to which Suho tells her not to worry, it was nothing. But he had sensed something changing in their world. The scene shifts, and we see a massive dragon soaring through the sky. On top of it was Jinwoo and Hunter Cha. We see Cha telling Jinwoo that it's been a while since she last laid eyes on this view. She turns toward Jinwoo and sees that he had brought her a gift for their 16th wedding anniversary. He tells her to head back home first and says that he'll be back as soon as possible. Hearing that, Cha asks if he will be coming back soon, and with a smile on her face, she tells Jinwoo that she'll be waiting for him. After which, she starts heading back while Jinwoo looks at her from a distance. After she leaves, he turns towards the sky and sees a massive gate that had appeared. Looking at it, he remembers what he once heard from somewhere, that a being in possession of great power can act like a magnet that attracts horrifying things from other worlds. Remembering that, he summons all of his strongest soldiers and prepares to enter the gate to start their next adventures. The scene shifts back to the job change dungeon, and we see defeated knights scattered everywhere and hear a person wondering what was beyond this gate. He thinks, what if things on the other side of that door are on a completely different level from what they have seen until now? It was Suho, who was wondering if he would end up dead if he opened the door. But thinking that he won't know anything until he opens the gate, he prepares to enter the room. As he does that, the scene shifts to the 3 lanterns on the wall, and after some time, one of them gets extinguished. We see Suho on the floor, wondering how many days it has been since he came to this place. But not giving up, he tries to clear the dungeon once more while thinking he wants to go back home. With that, another flame goes off. Looking at it, Suho thinks that he only has one attempt left, so he tries to get back up to his feet while wondering about the voice that has been shouting at him for a while now, saying, "Arise." As he stands in front of the door, he thinks, even if this may be his last opportunity, if he doesn't want to stay frozen in place, if he can grow from this, he will challenge it again. As the door opens, he sees a light on the other side that gradually starts to grow and eventually engulfs the whole place. Chapter end here. For more, like and subscribe.